What's up, you guys? We are back with another great episode of Culture or Clickbait. I'm your girl, Daysha.
And it's your boy, Dante.
And y'all already know how we do it. We take the hottest headlines in music, sports, and entertainment and determine if it's for the culture
or simply for clicks.
You stay clicking like you got some fingernails.
You can't even hit these bitches.
Exactly. But I think that's cute that you be trying to do my little thing. Now, y'all, we gonna get right into it because we got some tea to catch up on as it is pretty piping and very hot this week, okay? Diddy was recently taken into federal custody in reference to a sex trafficking investigation. And all of this is happening after they seized a bunch of different things from his Miami and Beverly Hills home. And let's just say it's a full debacle, okay? Dante, I know you saw what's going on because it has been a complete shit show.
Man, this situation is what we call a fiasco.
Man, literally.
Man, to see, first of all, let me start here. I don't care about the baby oil in the house. I don't care about what he does in his personal time. I need some more facts on the drugs. I need to know what's going on with the women who were victims of, the domestic abuse.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. It's a sad situation to see him locked up, though. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's sad. But hey, your demons come out at some point.
They do, definitely. What's done in the dark always comes to the light, and I agree with the fact that more facts need to come about because right now, it just kind of make the whole situation seem like a circus.
Yeah.
And like everybody is just kind of like bandwagoning, and when that happens, then we lose the purpose of the whole situation, and then victims get lost in that gray space of all the mess. Because right now, all I see is baby oil, audios of sexual activity, all of these different accounts of people saying stuff, and sex toys. But that's where it stopped right there. And it's just really giving freaky ass nigga you 69 God. And I'm not mad at that part. I'm not mad at that part. But once you incorporate drugs and drugging people and them not being aware, and once you start using words like drinks were spiked and different things like that in the indictment, now we roll over into official crimes.
Right, that's now this case becomes from civil to criminal once you add that to it. If you ask me though, this whole case is strictly clickbait because that's all I see going around right now is just everybody doing things for clicks. You don't even really know the real story anymore because of all the clickbait stuff that's coming up around it. People pulling old clips from the past, trying to make it, apply to what's going on now. I just think it's making this whole case get too long.
Yeah.
So for me, this is clickbait.
I'm gonna say it's a combination of both. Clickbait again from all of the extra fluff and all the noise and everybody different accounts of stuff, but it's also for the culture because again, there were people that were victimized. There are people whose voices do deserve to be heard, and we all have seen in more ways than one how power can go to your head and you can feel like you're exempt, but this good old life will humble you. Now, that part is simply for the culture for me.
All right, so now we also have Nicki Minaj, who has now become one of the 6th longest charting artists on Billboard to surpass Jay-Z. Now, if you ask me, coming off the week that Nicki Minaj has had with the, internet debacle, her going back and forth with some of everybody, I think this is actually good news on her behalf.
Yeah, it is.
What do you think about, just the whole state of everything that she's been through this past week when it came to Jay-Z, her little rants, but now hearing this good news?
I think that Nicki is due for some good news because again, all that is online is just her going a little crazy on everybody. I mean, I understand her stance about certain stuff, but I feel like she's so big at this point that it's a certain amount of indulging that she should and shouldn't do. And I don't know what's going on in the camp or over with Nicki and the folks, but she getting a little out of hand with all the internet rants. But this is great, you know what I'm saying? This is a really major thing for Nicki as she has some timeless music and she deserves this. I think that if it's any artist that can get out there and compete with the guys, it's Nicki.
Now, there's more stuff though that came out right after this when it came to Nicki. So Nicki also mentioned that in her title deal, she actually made no money in that deal. Now, there's so many different alleged things around that whole deal. A lot of he say, she say. One person says she didn't sign the contract, but on her side, she feels like she was pressured to sign the contract within 24 hours. How do you just feel about that, Daysha, just from your standpoint of hearing that from her?
Oh, baby, I don't know. That was a great question. If I told you, I don't know.
All I say is, and you know, it could go one of many different ways. If somebody offers you a contract to sign and you feel like you're being pressured to sign it, you don't have to sign it. You're in no obligation to sign it. But then the other side to that is when things come out and money is started to be dispersed and you are left out of that, you have nothing to say because you decided that was your full decision and autonomy to not sign.
This is true. Now, do you feel like this is for the culture or is this clickbait?
I say that this is clickbait.
Which part of it is clickbait for you?
The second part, I'll give her that. The second part is clickbait. The first part is definitely for the culture.
Yeah.
I mean, who Jay-Z is one of the biggest charting artists, so who wouldn't want to outdo one of the biggest? So that I also give that a cultural monument. She got that. In other music news, we gotta talk about Future now, Daysha. Future just released his 17-track album that has now hit #1 on Apple Music's top 10 singles. Like all 10 of his singles from that album are on that top list.
Wow.
At one time.
That's awesome.
That is like big, and not a lot of artists have been able to do that. He's actually the first artist, so can't even say not a lot, he's the first. Now, his fans are going crazy about this album because they feel like it reminds them of the early mixtape Future, which is also the name of the album. I wanna say personally, I listened to the album and I have about 3 tracks that I like. Now don't ask me the name because I'm still learning the names of these tracks. But I will say they are slapping because I listened to it all the way here as well. Now, there's another conversation though, Daysha, that I want to tell you that is going on Twitter about this whole Future album. And they're asking, do Future need Drake or Drake need Future?
That's a good question. I don't think either of the parties need each other. I think that everybody's just used to the feels that they provide us. But let's be clear, Future is Future and Drake is Drake, right? And I just really feel like them collaborating, yes, they give us some bomb music, like some of the best club bangers or just stuff that you're gonna listen to probably to the end of time. But each of them as individuals have that same type of music as well.
And I totally agree. That was my take on it. I feel like you have Future who's great in his way, you have Drake who's great in his own. I don't think pinning the two against or amongst each other is needed, honestly. But what I will say is that for Future, this is actually a big win for him. And I don't know, maybe the conversation will come up later down the line, but the only way out we'll know that is once Drake drops a new album. And Drake, that is me actually asking you to drop a new album.
Now, while we on Future, we have to talk about the fact that this got 26.5 million streams on Spotify on its first day coming out. So Future is definitely doing some numbers, and clearly y'all were waiting on him to come out with some music, okay? Now, what I would like to say is, I'm not gonna lie, I wanna see Future evolve, if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
Like, I don't want original Future at 40 something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like we push the pen of all the other artists, giving us some form of evolution in their music. And I'm not saying that Future isn't, but I can guarantee that I can probably name the top 3 things that he discussed in general over the whole album. And it's probably money and women, his relationship status or the lack thereof, and honestly, probably just dressing and finessing. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that is actually right.
You see what I'm saying? I haven't even listened, but it's like, come on, give us the story. I mean, he story tells, don't get me wrong, but give us a little more.
I mean, but he do got the ladies talking on social media as well.
Always.
The ladies put out a tweet this past weekend. They said, look, any guy who's trying to be like Future, please understand that Future is a well-known and he talked about himself, a trick. And he's a proud trick. So if you can't be a proud trick, you can't be singing Future is what the ladies saying on Twitter.
I want Future to find some love, make some music around it that is actually good, because y'all know how y'all get about y'all rappers once they get in a relationship. Y'all be like, oh, the music cheesy. He need to get a heartbreak so it could be like, forget everybody and get back in the booth. No, I want to see him really like show us a different side of him. That's the only thing I asked for.
I think he's shown us that before though. And now he wanting to get back to his roots. Yeah.
No.
You ain't feeling it?
No. Anybody could do a little auto-tune and sing. Like, if you still singing about tricking.
I think Future gotta be in love again to talk about being in love. I don't think he's in love right now.
Somebody go make Future fall in love. Good luck.
As the girls say on Twitter, he's tricking right now. He's in his tricking era again.
He's been tricking, is all I'm trying to say. But all right, all right.
This is definitely for the culture though. Beyond anything else, this is for the culture for me.
It is. Future is always for the culture.
Yeah.
In entertainment, we have the cast of Abbott Elementary getting a pay raise for season 4. And I know from being online and on socials that this show is a rapid fire show where everybody is getting hooked on it in more ways than one. So to see this pay raise, this is definitely a major thing, Dante. The people are tapping into 6-figure digits per episode. Now, as y'all can see, that is what you call a decent range of numbers for some work, baby. I get on there and I act and I don't know what I'm doing, but y'all just tell me who I need to be, student or teacher. But Dante, how do you feel about them numbers?
Man, I think those numbers are good. And when you talk about like, I just love seeing my people win, man.
Yes.
Like Black excellence is like,
no, seriously.
I love to see it. It makes me want to cry. Nah, but for real, man, this show has came a long way. Now, granted, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't watch a lot of episodes of it, but the episodes that I have saw, they're always like pretty funny.
Yeah.
You know, and I was a big everybody hates Chris fan.
Mm-hmm.
And so to see him in the show was what actually drew me to the show.
Yeah.
And that was like when the show first started. So all the popularity that the show has picked up over the years and the constant, people use the show in many memes all the time.
Yeah.
So I can actually see why they felt like, all right, it's time to give them a pay raise. Because this has been one of the biggest talked about TV shows on sitcom TV today.
And it has honestly since like their second season. I know I've seen people talking about it in every way, shape, or form. And granted, I haven't watched every season, but the seasons that I have watched have been really good shows. And surprisingly, with it being based around teachers and or like they work-life balance and students and different things like that, I didn't think that this show would do as great as it did. But with the star-studded cast, I'm not surprised.
One reason why I kind of saw this coming for this show, just as it being big, I didn't expect the pay raises. That's a great addition. But I did see the show being big because they remind me of The Office.
Okay.
And The Office was funny.
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of like satire, but realism all at the same time.
Yeah.
Everyday lives, people at work, the office structure. It's literally the same concept now, just in school.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then it's like that one little meme with the ladies twerking in the in the gym to Juvenile back that thing up.
I've seen that one for sure.
So I think this is for the culture, honestly. I give this a culture stamp any day.
Yes, 1000%. This is for the culture, and simply because the Black cast, but the Black female cast, who has some of the highest numbers of being paid for this show. So I am here for this.
Let's talk about Sheryl Lee Ralph. That's definitely for the culture. Click.
Tia Mowry reveals that her and her sister Tamera are not that close after her recent divorce. And she said this on her new reality show that her sister said that she will not be seen on. So clearly there is some riffraff in the sister palace.
Man, it's sad to see this for both Tia and Tamera because we have not really been in their personal lives a whole lot since they kind of parted ways with the sister and the Twitches and all the show, you know, all the collective projects that they did together. So we really have not seen their lives since then, for real. We see a lot about Tamera by herself and we see Tia by herself. So to actually hear Tia come out of her mouth and say that, you know, her and her sister have not been the closest over the years was kind of a shock.
Yeah.
You know, you don't expect that from twins, one. You don't expect it from sisters like them because from our perception, they've been close.
Yeah.
Now, she also stated in that video that this had started around the time that when she was going through her divorce, she felt like very alone. Now, I can truly say, because me and my brother are very close, if I didn't have my brother through some of those times that I've been through within like relationships and things like that, I feel exactly how she would feel.
Yeah.
Because you feel like nobody's there for you. You know, and I'm pretty sure with social media, everything that everyone was saying in the media, down to people trying to come up with their own narratives, because she also mentioned that as well in the video.
Yeah.
She mentioned that there was a lot of narratives stirring up about her and Corey divorce, and it was making her feel bad because it's not the truth. But she also didn't feel the need to have to really speak on it either.
Yeah, when it comes to Tia and Tamera and their relationship as sisters, it's one of those things where you might not even receive me in this time because who I am to you, I'm probably a little too close to you to tell you certain things for you to accept it. So I don't think, and this is me just going off of what I feel, I don't think that intentionally either one of them is leaving each other out. I just think they're in a weird gray space right now. But y'all on the socials, y'all are very messy, trying to pull up old clips from a little bit of everything from their show that they had together all the way to like other interviews and different things like that. So it's a bunch of different narratives running around online about Tia being a selfish sister.
Which could probably be half the problem that their relationship is estranged.
And it could be, you know what I'm saying? Just because they look just alike does not mean that they are the same people and does not mean that they are always on the same page. And rightfully so, you know, stuff happens. I'm really close with my sister as well. And there's some times where I can receive my sister, and then there's some times where I can't receive my sister, but I'll receive somebody else who said something very similar to my sister. It just depends on my perspective, where I am mentally at that time, and sometimes how you feel about the person.
Right. So I don't know if you're gonna agree with me or not, so give me your take. I do feel like this is for the culture, only because Tia and Tamera are like cultural staples. So this is like, come on now, we need y'all together.
I feel like this is clickbait because sisters fight. The only difference is we know them to be sisters of the culture. So for us, it's like, no, y'all don't do that. Y'all need to get it together. Granted, it's very Black of us to be like, no, that's your sister. You supposed to have her back. Yes, you are. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, everybody is human. Titles are just titles, right? I have to feel like your sister. You have to make me feel like your family. Sometimes we adopt people as our family who is not blood. Why? Because they simply make us feel like family. So this right here is clickbait simply because that's family business. Y'all nosy. But also because this happens amongst siblings.
All right, so let me ask y'all, all my boxing fans, I need y'all to stand up right now. If you did not see this fight this weekend with Daniel Dubois and Anthony Joshua, you missed something great. He knocked that man out in the fifth round. Okay?
Tweety bird.
And I ain't gonna lie to you, bro, I ain't gonna even hold you. The first half of the fight, Anthony Joshua was getting slung around that ring like a freaking rag doll. It is crazy. Y'all gotta look at this clip, cause man, I was on the edge of my seat like, what in the world? Now, I'm gonna tell you this, Daysha. He put up a good fight though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Anthony Joshua really did put up a fight. He just lay down. Even when he got hit that last time, he was trying to get up.
He tried to get up.
My boy tried to get up, but that little arm went up, leg went up, and he just could not move. He couldn't make it. He couldn't stick it. And that referee said, that last hit, it was done for you, boy. But I think this was a good fight for Daniel with the boys because now it allowed him to hold on to his heavyweight title. Man, y'all go and watch this video in your spare time. Watch the whole fight on YouTube. So y'all, let me tell y'all this. Today in politics now, Jasmine Crocket is at it again with her reads, okay?
Jasmine be boxing.
Yeah, she a Bob and Weaver herself.
Educationally, with knowledge.
She read the freaking House Congress about their contradictions in most of their stance as Republicans. She went through like healthcare, wages, like everything. And she said, basically she made it seem like as though This is why the country is going through what it's going through, the turmoil. And she brought it back to the idea of them still riding Trump's coattail, knowing that Trump is not the person to be in charge of our U.S. country right now.
Yeah.
And so if you all look at this video, y'all can see for yourself. I think Jasmine, honestly, for me personally, does a good job at making sure her voice is heard.
Yes.
Because when it comes down to it, she is the voice for the people who don't have a voice.
Yes.
And she doesn't shy away from it. I mean, for me, any black woman that does that in a seat of power in those rooms, you always gonna have my back.
Yes, for sure. Jasmine is definitely for the culture in general, and you can tell it's somebody of the culture and remembers where she comes from while she's doing her job.
Right.
And that right there speaks volume.
And she don't bite her tongue.
No?
That is like, to do that with such confidence,
Yes.
and your tongue don't bite not one time, you don't trip up on your words.
No.
And you say it with a straight face and get them with the, okay.
I wonder if she practiced or if it just
I don't think she practiced.
the way it just give black woman reading y'all rights like the Bible.
Right, it come from, it give me, she went through that enough in high school, middle school, elementary school, and her family
Yeah.
to know how to read a motherfucker when she needs it.
Yeah, sister's probably in the debate club.
Definitely debate club.
Heavy on it.
Jasmine, you are definitely for the culture. You are for the culture. And that was another episode of Culture or Clickbait. And I'm your boy Dante.
And I'm your girl Daysha.
And y'all know why we here. We take all the hottest topics in music, entertainment, and sports, and we decide whether it's for culture or simply
For click.
bop.
Y'all come back and see us.
Peace.